Hey there folks, we're on Fedrid Folly today with a little bit of piano, playing as the Spider Exarch. He's called himself No for some reason. Don't even try to comprehend the name-calling conventions of piano. It is pointless. And the other problem that we have here is Plum Loco, Mr. Chaos Lord over here. I have no idea who he is. Got to be a smurf of some sort if he's hanging out with piano in 1v1. Isn't it weird when you don't see the Demon Sword on the Chaos Lord? Because this guy's like level 44 army level. So, not max level on his Chaos, but he's hanging out with piano. So, must be a smurf, and I don't know whose. But let's see if he's any good. He's going to be leading with double heretics. Pretty typical opening. A little bit awkward against the Spider Exarch, who can peel them away quite easily with that spinner. Is he going to fight them in melee here? He's got the protection of this pipe, which is reducing the quantity of heretics that can actually fight him. They're actually shuffling around a lot, which is quite nice for the heretics. It's keeping them alive longer. But I guess Piano's quite happy with that. Just trying to get some XP by killing the models. Trying to stay in a bit longer. You see, he already sent the Guardians down here, so that's probably why he didn't want to teleport here to start capping there. It'd be a bit redundant to have 2 units over there. Just farming XP, basically. He's quite weak by default. Doesn't do a lot of DPS in melee or range, though he's competent in both. But it's when he picks up his filament weapon upgrade and then the accessory for more damage and range as well that he starts doing crazy DPS, because then it's more than 50 DPS in tier 1 piercing with superior range on a teleporting hero. Very scary for heretics. That said, probably still wise for Plum that he's gone for the double heretics, because this is a very big map with a lot of points to cap spread out over it. It's nice that he's got this extra cheap squad capping in the side there. Probably not going to use one of these heretics for combat. Maybe this one, just keep it with these models for now that you've got. Just run around capping with it. Get the AC on the other one to be able to tango with these banshees that are causing problems. And then Plum Loco is going to need a way to deal with shurikens. Always going to get shurikens against the Chaos Lord. It's the best way to deter him. You don't really want to go rangers, because he can just pick up the combi bolter and literally just shoot the rangers down. And if he starts getting upgrades for his durability, it could be really bad. Looking like potentially a heretic wipe here. Very close, one model. He failed the Doom Blast, you see. The Doom Blast actually triggered with a very rear model, and it didn't suppress the Banshees. But there you go, this is the problem with the Chaos Lord. He was focus firing, I don't know, the heretics, I guess, with the Shuriken. And obviously you can't suppress the Chaos Lord. He just managed to run in and deal with that Shuriken. I'm going to be grabbing some Raptors as well. So you have to assume we're going to see more Shurikens coming out of Piano. Indeed, second Shuriken is en route. Backing off now with the Guardians to get behind the green cover. Doesn't want to fight CSM in a ranged firefight without that green cover. Wouldn't be ideal for the Guardians. CSM, meanwhile, just want to run into melee. But that's what you got a Shuriken behind them for, to deter. Now a lot of free damage coming in from them Guardians. They're not very durable, but they definitely output good damage. Obviously CSM saved from that quite substantially thanks to their heavy infantry armour. This Guardian a little bit out of cover. Got the Raptors. Ooh, Piano layering his shurikens very close together. I was going to say, if Plum micros that correctly, he should be able to leap onto the rear one with the Raptor, and so he did. Both shurikens routed. We now have the improved targeters on the way, but they're not on the field yet. So the tickling from the Walt Spider will continue for now. See if we can get a CSM model. They're going to try and seek a little bit of cover behind that box. And with the Guardians coming in too, that doesn't look great. Chaos Lord's in a bit of trouble right now. Yeah, this is... no, he's going to be alright. He just should retreat right now. What's he doing? Yeah, just retreat. If he retreated here, then he would have been caught by the Banshees in retreat path, which is, I think, why he sort of approached them and then got deterred and went this way. I think that's also why the Walt Spider was staying in for so long. Again, though, Piano really messing up his Shuriken layering. But it's not too bad here because he has the Banshees. The Raptors are too busy focusing on trying to tie up or force off Shurikens, then they're not fighting the Banshees, which are hacking them to pieces with those power swords. And he got one gen there, nearly got the node down. But relatively unsuccessful push. This secondary squad... Ooh, he's going for grenade launchers. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. It's a soft counter to the Shuriken. If you can use line of sight blockers like this, you can fire up and over, which is cool. You can hide behind the trees and fire over. Pretty good map actually with line of sight blockers. If you're up here, you can fire at a shuriken here, which would have to come all the way over here to be able to return fire. And of course you've got that barrage ability, which you see right here, going out to disrupt the Banshees and their cap. And you can use that to disrupt the shurikens. So with the Raptors, the grenade launchers and the Chaos Sword, he should be in a good position here to deal with the 2 shurikens. But he doesn't have a tremendous amount for the Banshees, he's just got his one aspiring champion Heretic squad. Yeah, now that this is the problem, this is where things get rough. Heavy gauge Death Spinner, increasing his range DPS to 34. Add another 50% and 7 weapon range because of the improved targeters. So you're now looking at a hell of a lot of damage. We're nearly close to 50 at that point. Which is a lot of range DPS in tier 1. You see the consequence. One of the CSM there getting popped. Pretty expensive for Chaos, that. And this is where Chaos can really fall behind in the matchup. If Eldar keeps retreating out of fights very early when they're not going in their favour, mitigating their bleed. Meanwhile, they're going to be bleeding the Raptors and the CSM constantly, and even Heretics. I mean, you know, Heretics, they're very cheap. I think it's something like 13 Rector Reinforce or something, but if you just keep killing those models, it will add up. But certainly, if you can tax some of these Marines, it's going to be great for Piano. Piano looking a little bit further ahead in tech. Do we see any? No war gears for the Chaos Lord. It is very typical to see that combi bolter against Eldar. There are a whole lot of light infantry in tier 1, so the piercing damage from the Chaos Lord can be very effective. But we're not seeing it here. And Piano Bit is going to be going tier 2. We see that stun here from the heavy gauge Death Filament. Heavy gauge Death Spinners. I don't know. Heavy filament. I think it's the heavy gauge Death Spinners, yeah, which use the heavy gauge filament ability. God, what a cunt. Crack shot on them as well here. So extra range and extra damage going onto that Walk Spider Exarch, and this is what I mean. Like, look at this, crazy. Just pops another CSM. And these Geotics, I don't know what they're doing. I'm not sure why they're not firing. They need to get out of there. They're going to be bleeding. They're going to be bleeding a lot. Yeah, Plum Loco a little bit confused. They seem to be bugged out in some manner. Now they can retreat. They were just spazzing out there. That was rather odd. Shuriken needs to get out of there. Piano perhaps... Ooh. Trying to bait them into a grenade. There he was. But he does drop 2 models. And that's what I was saying earlier. He needs to be careful not to lose those models. So he can start getting ahead in some sort of attrition game here. Can they force off the spider? Yeah, they do. And then they go retreat. Because they don't want to lose a model. AC Tix managing to take that contested VP, but falling behind quite a bit now, Plum Loco on the VP game. So he's going tier 2 as well. We're not seeing anything from the tier 2 of Piano yet. Yeah, no Exarchs or anything like that. So I wonder if he's saving up for a Wraith Lord, probably. Quite risky to go for a Falcon against potential Khorne Worship speed boosted Plague Marines, which snare you on every shot. You just don't really have the durability on a Falcon. Blood Crusher for Plum Loco. We have got the aspect of Strength Fear on the Banshee, so they can get heavy melee if they upgrade to the Exarch. He is going to go for the Falcon. Well, certainly the Falcon will be a hard counter to the Blood Crusher. It's faster than it, and it's got an AV gun. So it can just shoot at this thing, while this thing can't really do anything, because it can never catch it. Now, if Plum Loco gets Plague Marines afterwards, and he snares the Falcon with the Plague Marines, and then he uses Speed Worship to get his Blood Crusher into melee, that could be a Falcon that's killed very quickly. Likewise, of course, he's got Raptors, so you see this Demon Maul on the aspiring champion of the Raptors. That is heavy melee. So again, jump behind the Falcon after it's snared by Plague Marines, and you could be in for a pretty decent situation. But Raptors caught out there by another Shuriken setting up. Kind of sent in on their own. Not really ideal. Don't even have full health anyway. So yeah, they got to get out of there. Let the Galaxy Burn. Wow, really interesting choice. I mean, it's an okay counter to the setup teams. Those fireballs are quite inaccurate at long range, which is problematic, but you do get 4 of them, and if any of them hit the Shuriken, it will knock it over. Not only doing DPS over time then, but also, obviously, stopping it from being able to shoot, because it will stop it being set up. So that's probably why he's got that. I don't know if that's worth it. Using it at close range will do loads of spike damage to the Howling Banshees, good if you slow them down with something like Doom Blast or the slow aura of the Plague Marines. Now you see it at mid-range and you see that sort of inaccuracy, quite a high spread there. Oh, we've already got a Bright Lance from Piano in the background. Of course, we've got the Falcon weighing in and the Exarch with a heavy melee. Bit of a dubious situation here, but oh, I was going to say, are we going to see a Demonic Fury? That would have been probably wiser than the jump there. Just Demonic Fury, that's the ability on the Aspiring Champion, and send that Exarch flying. At the end of the day, she's the only one with the heavy melee, everyone else is power melee, so yeah. Oh wow, Falcon massively overextended here, getting into melee range of the Blood Crusher, which turned around, and the fucking Raptors, which managed to just smash it. Ridiculous. And a Demonic Roar there, pushing the Howling Banshees away. Can they get back into range? They've got Fleet of Foot, so I think they're going to manage it. An attempted save with the Grenade Launcher Barrage there, actually knocking over the heavy melee Banshee Exarch. And now the Blood Crusher's healing from the Worship. Oh, but we've got Crack Shot on that Bright Lance. Wow, getting behind the terrain blocker just in time there. And I tell you what, guys, that is a lot of bleed for Piano. Obviously, major micro mistake there, sending the Falcon so far forward. Probably assumed the Blood Crusher had gone further away, and then I don't know, it was microing over there, I suppose. There you go, yeah, let the Galaxy burn, countering the Guardian weapons team, that's something. Another use for it will be to get rid of generators very fast. It will do pretty good damage to them. We've seen an Aspiring Champion now on the Chaos Space Marine, so they're going to be able to trade up quite well against the Guardians, even though they've got that Warlock, who does give them damage resistance against ranged attacks. These guys are just too tough at this point. Way too much heavy infantry HP for the Guardians to compete. Cheeky little blood sacrifice. Okay. Just delaying things here. Yeah, not really achieving a whole lot though. The Bloodletters aren't very good when they don't have the speed worship at killing things that are moving away from them. So that's a problem. Raptor's doing a really good job shutting down the Warp Spider Exarch. You like to see that. What you want to do is you want to charge at him to force him to teleport away. Because remember, he can't fire while moving. And only when he teleports away, so it's on cooldown, do you jump him then. If you jump first, it's not going to be very effective. Let the Galaxy burn again. Going to disrupt that Shuriken. There you go. Okay. Alright. I mean, it's doing its job, isn't it? Clearly, that's what he got it for. I mean, they're going to set up again, but you've got grenade launchers going in too. I don't know why he moved the CSM so far forward. If you kept them at a distance with the grenade launchers, he probably would have done quite well. Can the Warp Spider Exarch kill this Chaos Lord right now? And goes for the kill. Ooh, 1 HP. Really unlucky. And then the Blood Crusher getting into melee and tying up that spider. We're going to see the Wraith Lord now for Piano. Obviously, in hindsight, this would have been the better choice. Well, I mean, not necessarily. But Piano basically in a bad spot here, you know. He could have had this composition of Wraith Lord plus spiders quite a long time ago. And he fucked it, didn't he, with his Falcon. In theory, if he microed the Falcon better, it could have been very strong. Certainly, Falcon into a Blood Crusher is a fantastic matchup if you're the Eldar, but... yeah, this is Piano's opportunity right now. He's got to make a comeback. He's behind in VPs quite significantly. And he's behind in tech, but the very fact that he's behind in tech is how he can make a comeback. He is invested in these 2 units here. Got a nice tier 1.5 unit in the Warp Spider squad. And meanwhile, Plum Loco's just been tech in tier 3. Oh, not good for the spiders here. They're in the fire. They'll let the Galaxy burn, and they're also taking damage from Slaughter CSM, which do additional range damage while that's active, as well as being able to swap out to chain swords if they wish. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. Oh, here we go. Another blood sacrifice. Not really a great situation here for the Banshees. They've got to get out of there. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go check on why my dog's screaming, and I'm not entirely sure, but he's here now, so we're just going to roll with it. He likes screaming, to be fair. Flipping idiot. Honestly, it's like having a baby. It's ridiculous. And he's 2 as well. Constantly watching him. Oh, what have I missed now? I feel like something died. No, the Blood Crusher didn't die. The Wraith Lord's still wandering around. Alright. Fine. Chaos Predator coming out. Obviously, that's going to be a great counter to the Wraith Lord. The Wraith Lord does have the Bright Lance, but it's only short range. But we do have a potential snare here in the Haywire Grenade. So if Piano can set this up correctly with the Bright Lance, the shoulder-mounted Bright Lance of the Wraith Lord, and a Haywire Grenade for a snare, he could take out a Predator. But, like I say, he's got to set it up right, hasn't he? You've got Raptors going around which can jump on that Bright Lance. You don't have a snare for the Wraith Lord, which is a nice advantage for Piano. That would have made it very tough if there was a snare. Once again, Raptors are going to be utilised well here to counter that Spider. Is he going to teleport out in time? Yeah. It's hard to kill this dude when he can teleport around like he does. Blood Crusher going to go down this way. Should be able to dispatch these Banshees Worship support. They won't have enough damage on their own to take down that BC. That's a nice barrage as well. Does that knock back? Obviously doesn't knock back the Blood Crusher. So that's a good situation. Routes the Banshees. Oh, we've got a Blood Maul for the Chaos Lord now as well. Fair enough. Makes sense. No reason to get the Lightning Claws. He hasn't got any accessories or war gear that would benefit from the faster attack speed. And actually, this thing being the same DPS as the Lightning Claws, albeit normal melee, not power melee, but higher DPH makes it better for killing fleeing ranged units. And that's what he's dealing with right now. No one's going to stand toe-to-toe with him in melee, even the Banshees. They wouldn't want to do that. So he doesn't need the Lightning Claws. That's what they're for. He wants to have a tool that can do actually good DPS to things that are fleeing. And if the Banshees do want to come in, he can yeet them with a sweeping doom. So there you go, some nice chunks of HP going away from the Spider. Oh, he seems like he missed that one, that was weird. He's probably going to use that slam here and then retreat. I'll kill the weak. Might be a bad spot for that Chaos Lord. Nope, Banshees are deviating because this is a very scary position. Oh, he's going to get the Predator, which upgraded to the Mark of Tzeentch as well, but insufficient support, caught out by the Haywire and the Wraith Lord. Yeah, it's dead. Power of the Wraith Lord, baby. Walkers can be so strong. You've got to have things to supplement your tanks. I don't really know why you went Mark of Tzeentch. I don't really think that was worth it. I mean, obviously, the threat was the Wraith Lord and you wanted to kill it sooner, but... the tanks win because they've got mobility. Tanks should be able to disengage from bad fights in which walkers can't. Now, obviously, that changes when you get hit by a Haywire, but, you know, you've got Chaos Raptors. I mean, they did shut down the Bright Lance, but, I don't know, not enough support to actually deal with other things. And I guess the real problem there is that his only real AV was the tank. Could have done with another source of AV. If he had a nice las cannon in the back there, he could have zoned out that Wraith Lord's pursuit. And then likely the Wraith Lord would die because the Wraith Lord can't flee from a tank in the same way that a tank can flee from the Wraith Lord. Close range, let the galaxy burn, mostly dodged there by the fleet of foot from the Banshees. Bright Lance definitely going to get forced off. A bit of a strange grenade barrage though. Actually disrupted his own Raptors. Not ideal. Probably was an opportunity there to get another model off the Raptors with the Wraith Lord, but missing it. Now we can get these Guardians in to repair this bad boy. CSM not really achieving a whole lot here in Tier 2. This is quite common, they just bleed. I think actually, to be honest, these should go to Mark of Khorne. They'll handle this Warp Spider Exarch a lot better, and the Warp Spiders, and the Guardians. And honestly, like, if the Howling Banshees meet Bolter CSM, they're not doing much to the Howling Banshees anyway. Howling Banshees will beat Khorne Marines one-on-one, but it'll be a decent scrap. But really, these CSM are going around controlling and fighting these guys, right? All of whom are going to be very vulnerable to the good speed, the extra HP, and just the tremendous amount of melee damage that Khorne Marines will have. We're going with Mark of Khorne this time. 75% extra bolter damage and 25% extra autocannon damage. I think that is correct choice. Also more speed. So he goes in for the Haywire, and then probably wants to retreat. He just lost his Exarch for that Haywire. I don't know, is that worth it? Maybe. Bit of chip damage. Where are the Heretics now? The Heretics are coming out anyway, it's kind of pointless. Oh my god, he's gone for double Bright Lance's piano. I guess Shuriken's not really achieving a whole lot at this point. To be honest, he doesn't really need them, does he? He's handling the infantry fine without Shurikens. But yeah, this is too much. Perhaps Plum wants to retain CSM just with Slaughter. Just as the default form with no Mac for Slaughter. Maybe that's why he likes it, but... I think with Raptors and Corn Marines, and in the Chaos Lord, you should just be able to rush down the Eldar and dominate them in melee, so that probably would be more effective. Oh, an Autark for piano. Plum needs to get Terminators now. He could go for a Lascannon Havoc in the meantime, which would help him a lot versus this Wraith Lord, but if he goes for Autocannon Terminators, he'll be chilling. The problem is that's going to be a while, and VPs are starting to get low. Plum, fortunately for him, still a fair bit ahead in the VPs, but he's bleeding. Loses another Raptor. Gonna drop this side here. Grenade Launcher Heretics are trying to do their thing. Oh, that was good. He was wary of the threat here from the Haywire, so he already got his tank out of there. Under Speed Worship as well. And now we'll be able to sort of dissuade these units a lot better. Wow, they didn't take a lot of damage there, did they? But the line of sight block is problematic for the tank here. Not a very good tank map, to be honest, and a good walker one. Because of these line of sight blockers, certainly up here on this hill. Which, very important, this hill, since it has both of the VPs on it, the natural VPs. So Autark just hanging around. She just needs to, yeah, loiter around there, prevent the heretics coming out and capping. She obviously can't deal with them while they're in the garrison, unless she switches to the fusion gun. Then she could, as Melter ignores garrisons. You see the Macacon tank just putting in work right now, bleeding the Eldar, preventing Piano from getting another Wraith Lord out, which would be a problem for sure. I think that should be the play for Piano. I don't think with the VP so low right now. Oof, nice plasma grenade. Don't think with VPs at 90 for Piano he can afford to go tier 3. It's going to take him too long. By the time he gets a unit out, the game will probably be ended. I think another Wraith Lord is probably wise and start dropping down some web gates kind of thing. Raptors just jumping again, dissuade the Bright Lances, but now they want to be careful. I mean, he's going after the Wraith Lord, trying to get that chip damage in. I'm not sure the damage of the Raptors is really worth it. Oh, miss micro potentially from the Warp Spider Exarch. Okay, he's in retreat path now of the Warp Spider Exarch, but Banshee's engaging here is pretty damn risky. Yeah, he's not able to get the kill on the Spider Exarch because of the positioning of the Banshees, but here we go. Let's see some hold fire action. Spider's moving in with a Haywire. Alright. Oh god, is the Wraith Lord going to kill this tank now? Oh dear. To be fair, I didn't even see that coming, but it was a micro error again from Plum. Why did he move so close to the Wraith Lord? He got way too overconfident, fishing for the kill. There you go. Wraith Lord pops another tank. OP tier 2 walkers. It's a joke, guys. Plum needs another source of ranged AV. Piano has double Bright Lances over here, for fuck's sake. But yeah, he missed macroed again. Why did he drive literally touching that friggin' Wraith Lord? Oh, and that's such a shame for Plum. He's literally getting his Terminators now. That would be another source of ranged AV once he can get the requisition for the autocannon. Yikes. Wow, risky plays, aggressive plays from Plum, teleporting forward with his Terminators to try and aid the heretics against these obviously superior Banshees. And he gets that successfully. Okay. Alright. Heretics can get onto the VPs. Plum is now behind on the VP game. He's going to have his Terminators moving into melee. And Piano's done the correct choice here. Gone for the double Wraith Lord. Yeah. I mean, Plum left himself so open to this by not getting any proper AV for ages. The Lascannon Havoc really should have come out probably a long time ago, to be honest. But like I say, he would have been fine if he had the Macacorn tank plus the autocannon Terminators. Just having that extra source of AV is really important. Oh, the stun from the Warp Spider. That's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, for Terminators? Obviously, Terminators can't retreat. So stuns and immobilizations are a huge problem for them. That's especially when they're isolated like this. But that's why I criticise the aggressive teleport from them in the first place. They got it back now, but they've incurred so much damage. They're going to have to go into the base to heal for a bit. It's not really ideal. Can pew pew the Autark for a second. 2 minutes probably could have gone into melee with the Banshees there. I don't know why they're fleeing. But yeah, no requisition here for Plum. Oh, he's gone for the Melter Raptors. I always forget about this option. Unique to the Raptors in tier 3. Just casually slays the Aspiring Champion there. I'm not sure what these okay, they're going into melee with a Rift Lord. Fine. Oh yeah, they don't even have their autocannon yet, so they have to go into melee for AV. Yikes. Oh, but the stun again. Brutal. With repairs coming in and the natural HP regen of the Wraithbone on the Wraith Lords. They're dominating the Chaos Forces here. Wraith Lord superpowers. A close match. A close match. The miss micros of the Predators. Problematic. Yeah, really screwed Plum. Obviously invested a lot in them going tier 3, and then that's the first thing you buy after a relatively short tier 2, only getting... Is it just a Blood Crusher? Yeah, that is a fast tier 3 from Plum. And this is what often happens in Dawn of War 2. If you rush that tier 3, you either win the game as soon as you get your 1-2, which is usually your tier 3 elite infantry and your tank, or you get wrecked because you left yourself vulnerable, you lose sort of your farm whilst you're taking tier 3, and then a pair of walkers comes out and you have insufficient AV to actually deal with them. Because tanks aren't the be-all and end-all in Dawn of War 2. But there you go, folks. That's going to be all from your boy Torpid. I hope you enjoyed that one. I am signing out.